Stop going to the gym and doing the same shit that you've done for the last 3 years. If you want to be different, you want to see results that you've never seen before, you can't do the same shit you've always done. Do something different and progress your training. What is going on, guys? Another IGTV, and this week I'm going to be talking about how to progress your training. One of the biggest mistakes I think I see with people is this: they've been going to the gym for 2 years and they're still squatting or deadlifting or bench pressing or doing lap pull downs with the same weight that they have been for the last 6 months, 2 years. We must see progression in order for you to meet your goals. If you're looking to gain muscle, progressive overload is one of the most important things when it comes to that, okay? So, as a beginner, this is how I recommend you progress your training. Let's take an example. Beginner, it's called basic linear progression. All of these are going to be forms of linear progression, but this is the most basic for beginners. Let's say you've got squat for 3 sets of 5. This could be any exercise. This could be deadlift for 3 sets of 10, bench press for 3 sets of 6, it could be bicep curls for 3 sets of 8, anything, just 3 sets of a set amount of reps. 3 sets of 5, week 1, we managed 40 kilos, awesome, perfect. We managed to get 3 sets of the 5 repetitions with perfect form. This means we want to progress. Week 2, 45 kilos, 3 sets of 5 with perfect form. But it's getting quite hard now, so we're going to slow down the progression slightly. Week 3, 47.5 kilos, 3 sets of 5. Awesome, we perform the sets and the reps for perfect form. That means the next week, let's just go up again. 3 sets of 5 at 50 kilos. Week 5, 3 sets of 5 at 52.5 kilos. I think people get way too wrapped up and think, I can't lift that weight, can't do that. You would be absolutely amazed how long you can do this for. If you go into the gym and you just put an extra 2.5 kilos on the bar every week, I would guarantee you pretty much, as long as you've started at a pretty moderate level, you will be able to just go in and put 2.5 to 5 kilos on the bar for a good 12 to 20 weeks, maybe even a little bit more. There may be 1 week where you have to do the same weight for 2 weeks, but then up it, just go up. If you can manage 3 sets of 5 on 50 with perfect form, there's no way that you're not going to be able to then the next week at least manage that again, and then maybe the week after we go to 52.5. But we're always looking for progress. I wouldn't recommend sticking on the same weight for more than 2 weeks. I think you'd actually surprise yourself just by going in and putting some more weight on the bar. Next, we're going to move into the kind of top end beginner, moving into like an intermediate progression method. And it's going to be called double progression, okay? So now we're going to give ourselves a small rep range to work to. So for example, I'm going to use squat because I love squats. Squat 3 sets of 4 to 6. So week 1, let's say we used 100 kilos. We're going to make sure we track our training like this. 100 kilos. First set we managed 6. Second set we managed 6. Third 6 we managed 6. Awesome. We managed 3 sets at the top of this rep range. That means we progress next week. We progress by adding weight. So week 2, we take 102.5 kilograms. First set we managed 6. Second set we managed 6. Third set we managed 6. Awesome. Again, we've managed 3 sets at the top of the rep range. Now, we go up again in weight because we've matched the top of the rep range. Week 3, we're now at 105 kilos. But, set 1 we managed 6. Set 2 we managed 6. Set 3 we only managed 5, but that's okay because it's within this rep range, okay? But that means that we haven't got 3 sets at the top of the rep range. So we're going to stick at the same weight next week. Week 4, 105 kilos again, but set 1 we got 6, set 2 we got 6, set 3 we got 6. Awesome, we've still seen progression from the week before. We've done an extra rep. This week we only did 17 reps at 105. This week we did 18 reps at 105. But now we've managed 105 kilos for 3 sets at the top of the rep range, which means we go up in weight again. 107 kilos. 6, 6, 4. Means we have to stay at the same weight for week 6. We might get 665, and we might have to stay at the same weight again. But then we get 666, which means the weight goes up. Every single session, we're making sure that we are seeing progression in some way, shape or form. Whether that be adding a tiny little bit of weight, which is only 2.5 kilos onto the bar, or doing one extra rep. Progression is progression. As long as we're going into the gym and we're getting better every single session, then win. One thing to remember, you only go up in weight when you've completed 3 sets to the top of the rep range with perfect technique. I'll say it again, perfect technique. Okay? If you did 666, but your technique was shit, you were cutting your depth on the squat, your knees were caving in, your upper back, you roundly looked like a cat taking a shit, then let's not progress. Let's stick at the same weight and hit those 3 sets of 6 with slightly better technique, okay? That's a progression method that you would be able to use for a very long time before having to move into the pretty advanced method of progression now, okay? This is gonna be like for your high level intermediate lifters to pushing like early stages of advanced, okay? There is another progression method that we could get into, but it's too detailed and too complicated to explain, okay? So very few people are really gonna have to go to that extent. For 99.9% of people, you won't have to go any farther than this. So this is called wave progression. Again, I'm gonna use the squat, okay? So we can see we've got 3 sets of wave progression. And the rep range I'm going to choose are 5 to 3s, okay? So you can see, week 1 we've got 3 sets of 5, week 2 3 sets of 4, and week 3 3 sets of 3. So we can see that the amount of volume we're doing is steadily coming down through this microcycle, okay? That's a block of training, there's 4 weeks here. We're going to break things into 4-week blocks. So we start with 15 reps, 12 reps, 9 reps. But intensity, how much weight we're going to be using, is going to be going up throughout the block. So week 1, we have 3 sets of 5, let's say 140 kilos. Okay? Week 2, 3 sets of 4 at 145 kilos. Week 3, 3 sets of 3 at 150. After that, if you're this advanced, you're going to be working very hard in these sessions. Week 4, you're going to ask yourself whether you need to deload. We'll do another video on deloads, but kind of ask, are you dreading the gym? Do you feel like you're recovering? If you don't feel like you're dreading the gym, you still feel like you're recovering and you still feel like you can progress, then don't bother deloading. We'll go into deloads more in another video though, okay? So, when it comes to this next microcycle, this next block, we're gonna match the 5-4-3 from above, but we're gonna try and beat week 1 to week 1, week 2 to week 2, and week 3 to week 3. So we can see 3 times 5 last time, week 1, we did 140. So 5 times this time, we're going to do 145. So you can see when we look back, we've actually progressed. Week 2, we've got 3 times 4. Last time we did 145. This time we're going to do 150. Week 7, 3 times 3. Last time we did 3 times 3, we did 150. This time we do 155. Okay? So you can see how we're still going to be progressing over time, but the progression's going to go like this. Okay? This is a way of progressing and still making sure we're getting towards where we want to be, but the progression is going to be a lot slower. As you get more advanced in your training, how quickly you progress is going to be a lot harder, it's going to be a lot slower. And this and the last 2 progression methods which I've showed you are how you keep doing that. Something I want to really put emphasis on is make sure your technique is perfect before you progress. Also, if you're an intermediate lifter, don't all of a sudden jump into this. Milk as much progress as you can out of that intermediate progression scheme. Or if you're a beginner lifter, milk as much progression as you can out of that beginner scheme. Because if you all of a sudden jump up to here in this advanced progression scheme, you're gonna miss out on so many gains and so much progress that you could have made on those previous progression methods, okay? So if you are a beginner, start in the beginner. If you are making progress on that, keep going until you stop making progress. Then you might have to move to the intermediate progression scheme, that double progression. Keep milking as much progression as you can out of that. You should be able to spend a good year on the first one, a good year, 2 years on the second one. You might only get to this in your 3rd year of training. Once you get to this, you will be able to use this for a long time. I still use this progression method sometimes in my training, and I've been lifting weights for nearly 10 years now. So it shows that You can get a long way with these 3 very, very basic progression schemes. If anybody has got any questions about how to incorporate these into their training, just shoot me a DM and I'm more than happy to help you, okay? But make sure you are progressing in your training. Stop going to the gym, stop going to the gym and doing the same shit that you've done for the last 3 years. If you want to be different, you want to see results that you've never seen before, you can't do the same shit you've always done. Do something different and progress your training.